No. Come on the other side. That's fine. Close the door. The absolute last resort is just to have our voices, but that's only if, like, the camera crapped out. You know, we're here, we don't have, you know, but it's better to see us a little bit.
Is this a script?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
what am I supposed to say?
You say Duff.
Hungry? Genova's to go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's to go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's to go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's to go. Genova's to go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg. For lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's to go.
There's a lot about Sarah and Tara that's exactly alike. They drink the same coffee, they have the same great job, and they both have a high-quality education. The only difference? Sarah spent her first 2 years at Carroll Community College, getting the same exceptional education, but at less than half the cost. So while Tara uses her paycheck to make student loan payments, Sarah can use hers for other things, like going out for coffee. Get started at carrollcc.edu.
Carroll Indoor Sports Center, celebrating its 30th season. 66,000 square feet of fields and courts. Rain or shine, multiple soccer and lacrosse leagues. Artificial turf fields and courts to rent. Party rooms and snack bar available. Summer camp for the kids. Safe indoor environment for athletes of all ages. Carroll Indoor Sports Center, your sport, anytime.
At Absolute Landscape, we believe that a great landscape is about transforming a space to exceed every expectation. From intricate hardscapes to lush green gardens, our goal is to bring vision to life. Creating outdoor environments for our clients, we offer services from design to installation and maintenance of your outdoor space. Enjoyment all year round is what Absolute Landscapes is all about.
CMSportsNet is made possible by Genova's To Go, Carroll Links, Carroll Indoor Sports Center, and Absolute Landscapes. You're watching the Central Maryland Sports Network, a community media center programming service.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. We've got Manchester Valley and Century from the Castle in Eldersburg, a Carroll County girls lacrosse matchup. I'm Pat Stetzer, and joining me on short notice, big thanks to Michael Duffy, Supervisor of Athletics for Carroll County Public Schools. We're in the middle of the intros right now, so we're going to make this quick. But Mr. Duffy, a matchup of two perennial state title contenders doesn't get any better on a Tuesday night.
No, it doesn't. Having Century and Manchester Valley, just an exciting matchup. But first, of course, I want to wish a very happy birthday to you there, Pat.
Thank you, sir.
But yeah, this is an exciting matchup. Two really great teams, and definitely a lot to look forward to here.
Where else would I rather be on my birthday than watching some girls lacrosse with you?
Good call.
The Mavericks come into this game unbeaten, 5-0 and 3-0 in Carroll County play. They beat South Carroll in their most recent game. That was April 8th. The score was 17-5. Man Valley beat Century twice last year. You take a look at our player matchup here. We're going to see two good ones, Mr. Duffy. Emma Penchik on Man Valley's side in the midfield, and Allison Fling for Century in the midfield. They're going to do battle here with the draws, and we'll see who wins out with the offense as well. Yeah. Both of Century's losses last year came against county rival Man Valley, once in the regular season and once, of course, in the regional playoffs. So as the intro, players get introduced today on the field here, Mr. Duffy, we got a little bit of a sun glare in the beginning of the game. It was very breezy here today, too.
Yeah,
not super cold, but definitely windy. Does that play a factor at all in the early going as someone tries to get their footage?
A little bit. I don't think it's going to be a huge factor. The wind will play a little bit of a factor, but I think both teams want to play a controlled game, so they're not, throwing it super long anyway. I think they're going to be trying to make sure that they can keep controlled passes and run their offense. And I think that's going to be the goal. And as long as they can do that, I think they'll be fine.
Number 26, Riley Zimmerman.
Team stats before the game starts. I mentioned the records, 5-0 and 3-0 in the county for Man Valley, 5-1 and 2-0 actually in the county for Century. 5 games so far, Man Valley's passed every test. Check out the goals per game for the defense. Just 4 goals allowed per game for Man Valley. That's going to be obviously a thing to look at here. And as we get a pause and get set for the Star Spangled Banner, and then we'll have the opening draw. our Star Spangled Banner played over the PA system here at the Castle in Eldersburg, and we got a good one here on tap. Man Valley and Century girls lacrosse. And again, we mentioned before we hit the national anthem break there, just the wind. I mean, it's on both sides. Both teams have to take advantage or take into consideration, but I don't know if it'll affect it too much. The field looks to be in pretty good shape. Footing
field's
seems fine.
recovered from a good bit of rain again from late last week over the weekend. Still this time of day, the sun can play factor, as it's going to play a factor with us, but it can certainly play a factor for the teams. So you got to keep that in perspective as they're, again, running both their offense and their defense.
Yeah. We'll have some sun glares here and there, but we expect to be, like you said, the footing is obviously key here as both teams get out for the opening draw. And, of course, as we know in girls lacrosse, the draw so very, very key. You win the draw, you tend to have a pretty good chance to win the game. And we saw Man Valley do a really good job against Liberty a couple weeks back in our game of the week up in Manchester, held the Lions to just one goal in the second half and pulled away for a big win. So looking forward to see some stars on the field here tonight on both sides as Molly Pulliam in goal for Manchester Valley. There she is, her 15 saves and the 13 goals allowed, so 53.4 save percentage. And then the other side's Becca Mullenix, and we saw her a few weeks back make some tremendous saves in an overtime win against South Carroll early in the season. So the goalie play could be pivotal here, too, as well, as we get set for the opening draw.
We've got Haley Bittinger from Man Valley and Allison Fling from Century on the draw.
Fling, the University of Florida commit. And we are moments away from starting this game. Looking forward to it.
Century with possession early. That's going to be huge for them. I think part of what Century's going to want to do is try and slow the game down a little bit. I think Man Valley wants to run.
Century will set up behind the net, and they'll work it around here, pivot perimeter, I should say. Looking for a cutter. Possession here, Michael, just essentially both these teams, I'm going to imagine, when they have the ball, going to use the clock to their advantage.
Yes, I think so. I think Century is going to be a bit more methodical. I think they'd like to drain the clock a little bit more.
They want a low-scoring game.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Looking at their scores throughout the year, they've been a lower scoring and, a stingier on both offense and defense. Man Valley's defense obviously has been pretty stingy too, letting up just around 4 goals a game.
That's Allison Fling back there, number 7, playing catch with Natalie Apatowski, 27. This is Fling trying to go ISO there. But it's going to be a tough task for Century against this really good Man Valley defense. Setting up the high screens, trying to find a cutter from the top of the arc. Momentarily, she had 23, Bella Garcia. Fling did, but nothing going. We're a couple minutes into this opening quarter. We're getting the benefit of a little cloud cover here, Michael and I.
Definitely appreciated that.
Called it in for us. All right, top of the arc, we'll reset. This is Becca Harvey, number 10, and Riley Poe. Up top now. Sarah Roblack tried to get through there. This is Apatowski again, 27, guarded by Penchek. So you're on top of it, Michael. The Century is going to want to play this pretty.
Riley Poe.
There's a shot by Poe.
Shot
and missed it, and Emma Penchek backs it up. So first possession takes several minutes.
It took nearly 3 minutes off the clock. And there goes Emma Penchek right down the middle of the field.
Doing what she does best, crossing midfield, now into the offensive zone. This is Penchek. She can get around defenders. And now the Mavericks will set it up. There's Taylor Feek, 13, top of the arc. A lot of talent out there on the field today, Michael. It's kind of be a fun fun to see who has the upper hand here when it's all said and done, but a couple of great ones in Century and Man Valley. I mentioned pregame perennial state title contenders. That's some high contact there at the top of the arc, and that'll be a foul on Century, and Emma Penchik will have the ball at the 12-meter arc. Penchik comes in, and Penchik scores. So the rare top of the arc, almost a free position. Usually we see that from the 8-meter. This time
she just ran right through the defense. She ran through the defense from the back of the field. Then when she got the 12-meter possession, she just ran straight through that as well.
So with 8:22 remaining in the opening quarter,
Man Valley goal, number 10,
Emma Penchik beats Becca Molinix 1-0.
All right, well, we saw that Century was able to use a lot of clock and drain it down a little bit on their possession. Let's see if they can gain possession again on the next draw.
Right, and they did win the draw. And the next draw goes to the Mavericks.
Ellie Bittinger grabbed that one.
And the Mavericks will set up on offense for the first time in the set anyway, as opposed to the last turnover down there at the other end. Meyer trying to play a little give and go with Allie Largent. Largent takes a high shot. And before the shot went in, we had a foul called here on the
shooting
12-meter.
call.
Yep, correct. This will be
Taylor
Feek.
with the ball. Coming in on the left side.
One of the top players in Carroll County, just a 10th grader. We saw her with a fine freshman debut. Feek takes a shot low, and Feek scores. So 2 shots, 2 goals so far for the Mavericks. They're dangerous. They're very dangerous and very balanced out there, Michael.
Yes, they are, and I think Century needs to, continue to play its game. If you'll remember, I think they were down 3-0 to South Carroll.
They were.
So, they've shown an ability to come back, but I think the most important thing, but really for any team, but really for Century, if they want to try and run that methodical game like we talked about, it's got to be draw control. Draw control and ball control.
Another draw here. This is Bittinger for Man Valley, and I believe Fling for Century.
That's what it looks like.
Ball bounced up over the 2 draw combatants, and Century gets it. So Century
Harvey came away with it.
Yep, and Century's won 2 of the first 3 draws. Just haven't found the net just yet, with 7:15 to go in the opening quarter. And yeah, you were right. From the first 90 or so seconds of that last possession, Century's, at least for now, their plan is to play smart, play slow, and come up with as good a shot as they possibly can against this really good defense.
Yeah, that's what they certainly want to do. Make sure they don't want to take unnecessary shots. They want to they want to kind of almost lull Man Valley to sleep so they can get the shot that they want.
Riley Poe had nowhere to go, and defense shut her down. She passed off to the top. Now she's here. She is top again, passing over to Harvey.
And it is hard to play defense for a really long time, which is why they're taking their time on offense.
Yeah, with no shot clock in Maryland high school girls lacrosse public school, you play it to your advantage a little bit. You don't have to take a shot here.
Correct. Almost had a turnover.
Almost, yeah. And Century finds their way on the board.
Yep.
Didn't see who took the shot. Let's see. Was it Fling? It was Allison Fling. So Century breaks through with 5:44 to go. That was a nice pass. Let's give and go there. Going to give that assist to Bella Garcia.
Yeah, great offense. Like I said, taking their time, getting the open shot, not just taking any shot. That's certainly what they want to try and do today. So they've won 2 of 3 draws. Let's see what we get for number 4.
Indeed. And it's Century again.
And the Knights grab another one.
So this will be a definite positive for Century if they can continue to dominate the draw control circle. And let's see, foul in the midfield. It'll be Century's ball still. Pretty good start, though, so far, despite the 2 quick goals from Man Valley. A good start for Century.
Yeah.
Something for Coach Becky Groves to be encouraged by. That's Hannah Baglin. That was Hannah Baglin, number 3. Came in across the line. Now the Knights will set up again. And you're right, you mentioned it a second ago, Michael. You can have a great defense, but you don't want that defense to be playing the entire quarter.
Yeah, long possessions are really difficult on defense.
No matter how good you are, you get worn down. We see it in other sports as well. That's Sarah Roblack on the far side, number 17. Now back up top, it goes to Becca Harvey. Baglin, and then near side here to Opatovsky, who had I believe a 50-goal season last year for Century. One of their top offensive weapons that comes back. And Allison Fling, a transfer in from Garrison Forest, Eldersburg resident, who decided to come play her senior year in a public school. And Becky Groves said, thank you very much. A highly sought-after recruit, really good in the draw circle. Ooh, Emma Penchik almost got that one, but it's going to be Harvey. Harvey finds room, passes back out, Fling, and I think that'll be a shooting space foul.
Yep, she got a shooting space call.
Nice job by Baglin on great hustle play from Penchik, just couldn't quite get there. And, excuse me, it was Harvey, not Baglin. Harvey did a good job to get
a little out
of
position, and then Century took advantage.
And here's Allison Fling with a high shot, just a little sailed it.
But Century came away with it.
Indeed. Bella Garcia Wasson, number 23, back behind the net there on the far side. She'll come in to the circle, back up top to Fling. And again, I believe. So Fling's been a problem here so far for Man Valley's defense.
She is frustrating the Man Valley defense.
This will be an 8-meter shot, so a free position for Allison Fling. You saw her in the pregame. 20 goals so far, 11 assists for the senior. There's a low shot, saved by Pulliam, I believe. Nice job by Pulliam.
And Addison Meyer came away with the ball.
And here come the Mavericks, and they can move quickly. Ooh, Addison Meyer just a little long of a pass. Try to get it to Sophie Bear, 21. Now the ball's down.
And Century's got it again. And then they lost it. Never mind. Man Valley back on offense.
Abby Christian, one of Century's top defenders, had it momentarily, but the Mavericks back on offense as Coach Groves prowls the sideline here on the near side, and Shelly Brzezicki just about standing next to Jim Miller near the box, if you were, where the coaches are allowed to be on the visiting team side. A couple of standout coaching staffs do a great job with both these programs. Here's Taylor Feek with a high shot. Taylor Feek finds the net.
And that gives Manchester Valley the 3-1 lead with 2:16 remaining in the first quarter.
So that's so far as the battle. You got Century with the slow down, but we want to take our time and create good shots. And they have a few times, and Man Valley can kill you quickly. They can really kill you on offense with the way they possess speed and talent and skill. And not that Century doesn't, but Man Valley just might have a little bit more of it right now. And they have the 3-1 lead, like you said. Give 2 of those goals to Taylor Feek. There she is, number 13, sensational sophomore.
I think Century is going to need to, well, obviously they're going to need to convert a little bit more on their 8-meter shots. That's been a difference so far. So switch it up for Manchester Valley, putting Taylor Feek on the draw.
Feek and Fling. And
Century comes away with it.
Century gets it. Well, the ball's down now, but I do believe Century won the draw. So I'm going to give that one to them. That's 4 for
They did
them.
win the draw, and then it got taken away, and Penchek got in there.
Far side double team. Tried to squeeze through it, and they no call, and Century comes out with the turnover. Nice job by Century.
Yep.
Hannah Baglin with Feek right on her. Minute 50 to go. And Century trying to get back in it. Just down by 2.
And Man Valley with the steal behind the net.
So some defensive strong points here so far.
Sophie Bear coming downfield. Passing off.
That's Emily Scott. Yep, 23. And now with 1:07 left, the Mavericks will set up their offense. Haley Bittinger, a senior, back from behind the net. Surveys the landscape here. There's a nice cutter. No one followed her up. Wow. Allie Largent had no one around her. And just a miscue.
An errant pass.
Yeah, a little miscue. And
that
maybe the
gives,
wind got that.
And that gives Century an opportunity to try and cut into the lead with under a minute to go.
See if the Knights can get downfield. Sophia Parker. Here comes Parker. She leads a couple defenders, passed up to midfield, and here comes the Knights on offense. Sarah Hroblack gets around one defender. 20 seconds. Opatovsky. Good defense. That was Feek. 10 seconds. Century's got to go. 3, 2. Nice. Oh, nice cut there momentarily, but just couldn't quite get the pass to Bella Garcia. And that's the end of the first quarter. So good defense on both sides through the first quarter of play.
Absolutely. I think both teams are playing to their strengths. Century's obviously, as we said early on, slowing it down, taking their time. Want to frustrate Man Valley on defense by just taking all the air out of it.
Right.
Man Valley just wants to run. And
they want to run.
And when they do, when they get
tough.
running, they're off and running.
They're pretty tough.
It's converted 3 goals for them so far. So yeah, it's a good matchup of styles.
Some first quarter highlights. I got a better look at that Emma Penchik goal. Century's defense wasn't quite set. Penchik took off when the whistle blew, and that made it 1-0. This is Taylor Feek from free position in that first quarter. Good low shot from Feek. Mavericks go up 2-0. Century does get back into it. A little give and go here, and Allison Fling finds the net there. So her first goal of the day. Nice pass from the outside from Bella Garcia. And that was 2-1, but then Feek came around the side of the 8-meter. She created her own space, and when she's got that right-hand side, she can be pretty tough.
Yes.
And again, here's Bittinger head, cut her wide open, just couldn't quite get it to her, or else that was Allie Largent on the doorstep. So a couple miscues, but there's your first quarter stats so far, 3-1, and Century winning the draws. 4 of the first 5 have gone their way. The one save that we could find from Becca Mullenix in the first quarter. Pretty evenly played first quarter. I want to say first half. Feels like it's gone fast enough in the first half, but we got a whole second quarter to go here. So,
yep. So Manchester Valley is going to keep Taylor Feek on the draw. Allison Fling has been dominating it so far. As you mentioned, she's won 4 of 5, or Century at least has won 4 of 5.
Yeah, that save actually should have been for Molly Pulliam, so I made the correction there. So Molly Pulliam made the save for Manchester Valley. Here comes the opening draw for the second quarter to begin, and it looks like it's Fling and Feek. Fling for Century, Feek for Manchester Valley. Collision there in the middle. Man Valley will get that draw. Century didn't like it, and Fling is down at midfield. The play continued. Man Valley scored. And we're going to have to stop the play here. think that was Allie Largent who scored. Let's see. Feek found her, yeah, and Largent scored the goal. So give Largent the goal, give Feek the assist. But right now, Allison Fling, I believe, is down right near midfield. There was a little bit of a collision for the draw. It didn't look like it was just, two players going for the ball.
At first glance, it looked like it was just players going for the ball. So I'm not. The officials were standing there. Did not see it as a foul.
And they let the play continue.
Yes.
That's Allison Fling. I can tell by the neon green. So hopefully she's okay. Just 15 seconds into the second quarter, the Mavericks have a 4-1 lead. So that would be a bit of a blow if Fling can't continue. Of course, we'll see here, of course, but just the fact that she's one of the top players around, I hope she's okay.
Absolutely. Never want to see anybody go
No,
down.
absolutely not. Just might have gone down a little awkwardly, and you and I can sit here and kind of speculate. I hope she didn't hit her head or anything like that, but they're going to take that pretty seriously. I saw athletic trainer Gina Tolome out there, along with the coaching staff. Let's see. Looks like Fling's going to sit up here. So, yep. Could have been a win knocked out of her sort of thing, too. So, but she's up, coming off on her own power. That's good to see. There's Allison Fling with a little bit of a smile on her face, alongside Coach Jackie Dragon and Ashley Hoyt, the AD, and Gina Tolome, the athletic trainer. And hopefully Allison can get back onto the field.
Looks like she's moving a lot better, so that's a good thing.
She's shaking her head in the affirmative. So Gina will give her a look at the trainer's table, and then here comes Fallon McCarthy, a freshman, number 21, to come in and take the draw. And Taylor Feek will draw for Man Valley as the wind continues to swirl and gust. And it can be gusty here at Century.
Yes.
McCarthy did a pretty good job there against Fling. Man Valley wins the draw.
Drew that. Was able to pull that out.
Now that's 4-3 as the sun peaks out at just the worst possible time. And just in terms of us, I'm being selfish. Of course, we love to see the sunshine.
Beats the rain.
And it sure does. And Valley now trying to be patient on offense here with a 3-goal lead. Good defense there. Feek takes the shot, backed up by Man Valley. There, that was Carolyn Lowe, number 9, backing that up. And Lowe has the ball on the insert, or restart rather. This is Carolyn Lowe. Ball down momentarily. She came in from all the way from behind the net. Now it's down. Let's see. Century's ball. Good job on defense by the Knights.
And Allison Fling is back on the field now.
Good sign for Century.
Yeah.
And the Mavericks into the zone. The Knights into the zone. Yep.
Garcia
Watson, and then back up to Baglin. Yeah, they're going to play some perimeter game here if they can. And like Michael said, there's Allison Fling right in the front area between Baglin and Emma Penchik of Man Valley. So quick restart. Riley Poe back there on the far side, 22, guarded by Penchik. Penchik comes away with it, and now it'll be a foot race, and not many are going to be able to keep up with Emma Penchik. She finds Allie Largent. Largent into the arc. Low with a shot, and Mullenix with a nice save.
But you can see just the difference in styles just on possession.
Absolutely.
From the save. Century's not racing down the field. They're even methodically doing that. I mean, they're still running, but Man Valley's just off and running as soon as they get the ball.
Yeah, they run in a flash.
Yeah, it's a fun contrast of styles.
Kind of is. Defender missed ball, tried to get out more of an interception there by Pulliam. Tried to get the pass over top the net, and Pulliam put her stick up. Nice job by the senior goalie of Man Valley. Coach Ellie Brzezicki talking to her earlier in the week. Well, of course, today's only Tuesday, so it had to be, today's only Tuesday, so it's yesterday.
Good job.
But thank you. But she was going to try to deploy 2 goalies perhaps today, so maybe possibly see Josie Collender a little bit later. But, of course, the hot hand is the hot hand, and right now Molly Pulliam's been doing a really good job this year for the Mavericks. That's Haley Bittinger. Don't try to do a little pivot cut there. And
back to Penchek.
When in doubt, pass it back out to one of the top players around. Clemson commit, Emma Penchek. Ooh, nobody there. This is Addison Meyer. She'll pass it back out. So good defense there for Century. Up. Molyneux may have gotten a piece of that. I couldn't quite see, but.
Yeah, you may be right. It looked like the shot was maybe a little bit wide. But, again, Man Valley's running from behind and making sure that they're getting the ball, too.
Penchek top of the arc. Penchek got in. Got a stick on the head, but before that, I think shooting space was called. So, Emma Penchek. Might have taken a stick from number 6, Marissa Schaefer. Trying to play some defense, and here's Penchek from the 8-meter from the right side. Nice job, Emma Penchek, and she converts.
The shot fake and then the finish.
Had a flag up in the air, too, if she hadn't finished, but she did. Here's a replay of the 8-meter, and nice job to draw the defender. Not quite shoot yet. Draw the foul, too, and then Molyneux sort of hung out to dry there, and Emma Penchek, with each goal, adds to her lead as the all-time goals scorer in Mavs history.
And good to see Allison Fling back on the draw.
Right you are. Allison Fling for Century and Taylor Feek back for the Mavs. 5-1 now. Manchester Valley in front. 7.5 left in the first half. The ball's down. No one yet.
And
Century.
Fling comes away with it.
So the Knights got that goal early in the first quarter, Haven't had too many good looks since then. So Man Valley's defense really
clamping down.
Clamping down is the right word. Definitely one of the top defenders, though, right there is 21, Sophie Bear of Man Valley. As Century tries to get it inside the arc here. No easy task. Opatovsky, Fling. Try to skip step. Nice pass. Big save, Pulliam.
She's playing well so far. And the Mavs are off and running.
Yes, they are. Penchek's got it again. High shot, Penchek. And we got a hat trick for the senior. She dished to Cassidy Lewis. Lewis passed off to someone else, got it back to Penchek. It was Carolyn Lowe with the pass, but Penchek made her own shot chance there. 6-1 in favor of Man Valley.
All right, Man Valley switching up the draw again.
This is Cassidy Lewis. We saw her do a little bit of this last time we had Man Valley on against Liberty, and ball is down. It's going to be another draw for Century. So my count, 6 of the 9 so far have been awarded to the Knights. They just haven't been able to turn that into offense. And not a lot of credit to that is for Man Valley's defense. that time to get it in. Good pass there from Tanner Dorsey into the offensive zone. And here is Century trying to get some offense going with 5.5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, they still have some time to be patient, but they can't let it get too far out of reach, especially with their slower paced offense. I mean, goals can come quickly in girls lacrosse, so that's important. But again, ball control was so huge.
And you can't do that if you want to try to stay in this game either.
No.
And Man Valley says, "Thank you very much." And there's a.
It's like there's going to be a yellow card.
It's going to be a yellow card, yep. Little high stick there from Abby Christian. She'll come off for 2 minutes. And then we got somebody slow to get up for Man Valley. She took a bit of a shot there. And she'll take her time here. So a collision basically right past the restraining line on the boys' side, but offensive zone, I guess you call it.
Yep.
That's Taylor Feek. Yeah, she looked off the defender, and when she turned to go, Christian stayed with her and just gave her a bit of a cross check to the shoulder. And Feek still down for a minute, so
it's just been slow to get up.
Yeah.
Obviously, hoping she'll get up and be good to go.
So a little bit of uneasy stomach feelings here on both sides when you've got Allison Fling go down momentarily and now Taylor Feek, who is sitting up,
right,
being looked at by the coaching staff and athletic trainer, and as she's up on her feet, she might make the slow walk over here to the side. And Taylor Feek.
Looks like she's moving
okay. With her own power, just taking it slow. Girls lacrosse can certainly have its moments of physicality.
Yes.
Just because they're not wearing pads and
for something that's designed to be a non-contact sport.
Or helmets, I should say, yeah. All they get is the goggles, right?
There's Emma Penchek with the ball.
Passing it around, Cassidy Lewis, and back to Lewis. And Penchek, like Michael said, 4:45 and counting. And Man Valley in the driver's seat so far with a 5-goal lead. Penchik got around her defender, passed it back to Carolyn Lowe. Lowe didn't find a great shot, and back out to the perimeter we go for the Mavericks. Here comes on the far side, back out front, Largent out front. Now Lewis. And Lewis couldn't quite pick it up, and here comes Century. Potential break. Still Century's ball. Riley Poe, 22, passing it to Becca Harvey, and Harvey gets it in. And the Knights, I won't say desperate need, but in much need of a goal would be a big deal for the Knights here in this final.
It would be huge for them to get a goal back in.
Fling guarded closely by Sophie Bear. Nowhere to go for Fling. She can get it to Riley Poe. Just Century's offense seems to be outside of the arc. There's really not much going on inside the middle of the field here.
You can see the difference in their two offenses.
This is Becca Harvey there.
I think part of it's also run by the defense.
Sure, dictated by the defense, absolutely. And Century's had this defensive moments too. And I think
timeout called by Century.
Probably smart.
Coach Becky Groves decided she needs to regroup get a pause because they were possibly on the verge of a turnover.
Seems like that's been the case a lot in these last few possessions. You see Coach Becky Groves there. They're back to us talking to Century. Trying to get that offense encouraged as a look at our team stats so far. Yeah, the one possession or the one stat in Century's favor here is the draws, and usually that means you're doing good offensively, but Man Valley's defense has made that a challenge with just one goal through the first 15 or so minutes of play, or more than that, actually, right?
Yeah. We're 3 minutes left.
I need you for the math. I'm sorry, I couldn't do the math
we're
right
about
now.
21 minutes.
Yeah. See Coach Groves talking to the Knights with their winter coat on as we were sitting here in mid-April. Didn't think we'd be having to deal with too much of the cold conditions, but here we are.
Yes, the weather is almost, you could call it taxing on today.
Good one.
That was just for you, though.
Thank you. Yeah. I've heard that one all my life. So get your taxes done and birthday as well.
There you go.
So 2:59 to go. Allison Fling will have the ball when we restart. And yeah, I couldn't hear or couldn't obviously see what Coach Groves was telling the Knights, but I'm going to guess that we're trying to draw up a play here to try to get something going offensively in this last 3 minutes, or at least on this next possession.
Yeah. Century, well, we won't say is in desperate need of a goal, really kind of needs to get back on the board.
As close to desperate as you can get here in the second quarter, just to try to reestablish its offense. And here we go. Fling will be watched closely by Sophie Bear of Man Valley.
But you made a very astute observation, Pat. You can just see how much farther out Century is starting its offense compared to Man Valley.
Yeah, Man Valley reached over the line there, I think, so they're going to give Century the restart. But yeah, it just feels like, and that's a credit to Man Valley's defense, I think, is that the Knights just can't get inside the 8 meters.
Yeah.
By the way, I think Taylor Feek is back on the field. I think I see her there on the far side. So good news for the Mavs. Fallon McCarthy comes all the way back out. So they wanted her on the defensive end. They'll switch it out for Hannah Baglin. And Fling has it behind the net on this near side with 2 minutes to go. And now she's being guarded by Taylor Feek.
Allison Fling and Taylor Feek's guarding her.
Fling waiting for a cutter. Feek trying to get the ball back. They can score quickly, so a turnover does not necessarily mean that Man Valley will sit on the ball. They want to try to pump another goal in here. Nice cut. Oh, it just couldn't quite get it. Secured was Bella Garcia-Wasson, and now
Taylor Feek to Emma Penchik.
Plenty of time for Penchik and the Mavs. 1:15. And Cassidy Lewis finds a teammate. That's Haley Bittinger. She couldn't quite corral the pass. She had a chance.
Away with the ball.
She did. That could have been a goal there, though.
Could have been a goal, and also could have been a turnover.
That's true.
So she did come back and grab it.
Under 1 minute. 1 minute remaining in this first half. Penchik, no fear. Emma Penchik.
Penchik grabs her 4th goal, or nets her 4th goal of the game.
And when she makes her mind up and starts to head toward the net, as soon as she gets the defender on her heels, good luck.
Slides between two.
Draws a foul and goes up top.
Left-handed shot.
Yes, absolutely. We've seen that a bunch through 3+ years, 3+ seasons, and Emma Penchik now with 4 goals on the night, and it's a 7-1 Man Valley lead. .6 seconds left in the second quarter. nice job by Lewis to knock the ball.
And Penchek comes down.
Abby Christian on her momentarily. Penchik will draw a couple defenders. Up top, Cassidy Lewis. Nice pass from Penchik. Cassidy Lewis finds the net.
Yeah, really nice assist. Emma Penchek drew about 3 defenders with her.
May have been 4, but yes, definitely more than one.
Opens up a lot of cutters.
1, 2, 3 here. It looks like, yeah, at one point 3 girls, and that leaves somebody open, and it's Cassidy Lewis.
And she didn't miss. Grabbed the pass and hit the shot.
Junior attack. Maybe the smartest one on the field wearing the sweatpants. Just trying to stay warm. Good for her. But Century's going to need this.
Penchek comes away with the ball, but taken back by Century.
Baglin, they got time, 25 seconds. Baglin, and the foul will be called. 15.1. Clock stops in the final 2 minutes, I believe, on a foul inside the meters, I believe. And this is Hannah Backlund at the top, so 12 meters away. Pass inside. Fling couldn't quite get it. Fling tried to scoop one in like with a broom. Century did get it back. They have time. 6 seconds, 5. Oh, shooting space. So 2.9, and it's Becca Harvey, I believe. Would be a boost here if Harvey could find the net in what looks to be the last play of the quarter.
Yeah.
Harvey did not get a good look at it.
And that takes us to halftime.
Indeed. I think Pulliam got a piece of that too. So
she did. She made a save.
Yep.
It was a good save. So at halftime, you know, we've got Man Valley way out in front with an 8-1 lead.
Absolutely, absolutely. 8-1 is your score here at halftime at Century High School. Before we take a break, just some quick thoughts. I mean, it's been all Man Valley so far.
It really has. I certainly could appreciate what Century was trying to do, and it's if you're going to be that, you know, drawn out, as I keep saying, methodical on offense, that's fine. But you've got to finish and you got to put the ball in the net, and they just have not been able to do that. And that's certainly been a huge factor in the game. Meanwhile, Man Valley is converting time after time after time.
Yeah, so far.
And you know, Emma Penchek is the best player on the field today.
Yep. All right, everybody, sit tight. We have a quick break coming your way, but we'll be right back with more of the CM Sportsnet Game of the Week coming right back. Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments.
CM Sportsnet Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Barnes Bollinger Insurance and by Jersey Mike Subs of Eldersburg and Mount Airy.
Gear up! Adult volunteers are needed for robotics tournaments. First Chesapeake, part of a global robotics community for youth ages 4 to 18, seeks adult volunteers to serve as referees, judges, and support staff at tournaments across Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia, each year from November to April. No robotics experience is required. These free events inspire youth to explore STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, while fostering leadership and teamwork. Volunteer today. Sign up online at firstchesapeake.org/volunteer. Let's gear up for the future.
Every Wednesday at CMSportsNet, it's Game On. Tune in for a look at Carroll County sports scene. Join me as we preview upcoming games, talk with the coaches, and bring you exclusive reports you won't see anywhere else. Plus, each week we'll unveil CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Don't miss CM Sportsnet's Game On, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. We've got you covered.
I'm Danielle Inglesby, and I interned at the Community Media Center during my senior year at South Carroll High School. I was interested in the CMC because of the knowledge and experience that I would gain and to help narrow down my field for what I want to work in the future. During my internship, I learned how to operate graphics for New Blue for our sports productions and to edit various projects on Premiere. I recommend the Community Media Center for anyone interested in studio art because it definitely gave me an advantage for the future, and I learned a lot and had a ton of fun.
First, I want to thank you all for volunteering to help Habitat for Humanity of Carroll County build a house. Your participation means so much. We couldn't do this without you. So, any questions? Come on, don't be shy. No such thing as a silly question, guys.
Donate and purchase from the Habitat Restore to help build houses.
All right, welcome back. CM Sportsnet Game of the Week. There's your halftime score as we get set for the third quarter to begin. And it is all Manchester Valley, as Michael told you before our break. 8-1 is your score here from the castle in Eldersburg, with the gusty winds blowing through the plains here of the campus of Century High School. It's Fling and Lewis, and Man Valley gets the draw, and that actually draws them even now, 6-6.
Emma Penchek came away with it, passed it right off to Taylor Feek.
Mavericks picking up right where they left off in the first half. Addison Meyer, yep. And I mentioned that they were in the driver's seat. They're certainly in command now. They can really do what they want here on offense. They can either keep the foot on the pedal and really try to stick it to Century. They can play the clock game a little bit here too. So
playing the clock game really just isn't their style.
It is not.
It's not how Coach Shelley Brzezicki, coaches.
It's not the way they run. Yeah, you're right.
It's a matter of it's run the offense. If there's a shot that's open, take it, but don't just draw it out.
Penchek, a couple fakes, easy goal. Emma Penchek has 5 goals on the night. I thought that foul was called on had to give Addison Meyer a chance to score, but they said Penchek had the ball, so Penchek will take it from that 8-meter arc, and she made it look pretty easy.
Yeah, she has a way of doing that.
Just
Nice
a little
fake.
shoulder fake, yep. And really shooting on that near side, it's almost as if she's going to the disadvantage, but it doesn't matter when Penchek has an eye for the net when the ball's in her stick. One of the top players we've seen around here the last several years. The rest of the county will gladly cheer and exult when she's graduated after the end of this season. She has been a thorn in the rest of the county side and a boon to Manchester Valley, although Century comes over that draw. A 9-1 lead for the visiting Mavericks as they try to stay undefeated. Hannah Baglin has it right at midfield, ball down on a foul. Baglin will bring it in across the line. So another big game this week for Manchester Valley happens on Thursday, I believe, Michael. They get to play Severna Park.
Yeah, Matt, we get to play the defending 3A.
Two-time.
Is it just 2 right now?
I believe
Okay.
two-time, yeah.
I think you're right.
3A state champions in a tournament game, a holiday break coming up. Well, not a break, a holiday break from school, and many teams playing some games on Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah, Man Valley's going to play Severna Park and also Leonardtown.
So another tough test this week for the Mavericks, but they are passing this one with flying colors so far.
Yeah, Man Valley's got a tough schedule coming up over the next week and a half or so. I think they're going to wind up playing 5 games in 7 days, so it's definitely going to test them so they can see where they wind up.
Yeah, they had Westminster on the schedule last week. I believe rain got in the way, and that game got postponed. Not sure if that's one of the games.
Yeah,
they
it
have to
is.
play.
It's going to be next Saturday, I believe.
As weird as it is to think about, we're almost running out of days to get the games in the regular season.
Correct.
The playoffs are only, 3 weeks away, 3.5 weeks away?
It's not far.
Yeah. So, Natalie Opatoski guarded very closely. Back there behind the net. Opatoski finds her way around. But this is not really, it's been very, very tough sledding for Century inside that fan, the 12 meters and the 8 meters, just right there.
And you get an interception.
A big takeaway. Sophie Baer, we saw her do that a couple years ago in the state championship game. Was a big play for their team at the time against Middletown as the Mavericks went 19-0 that season and won a state championship. And then Baer brings it in here, and this is Emlyn Scott. Oh, tried to do that little okey doke between the two defenders and took a spill, but drew a foul. And the restart. So I had the whole half to realize that the quarters are 12 minutes. They played 24 minutes. They played about 21 minutes of action there when they called that timeout. I got it back. I said 15, but okay, come on. Can't keep it all straight. Tough pass there, but Mavs keep the ball. Haley Bittinger. Back over to the far side now. Century trying to stretch Man Valley's offense out within the zone.
Yeah.
Much as they can.
Man Valley's being, a little more
patient.
A little more patient, yes, but not overly so.
This is Cassidy Lewis. Who's this? Lewis? Let's see who it is.
I think it's Addison Meyer.
Oh, you're right. Yep, right at the top. I was looking at the wrong side. Addison Meyer. Oh, it's Carolyn Lowe, actually. Passed it off.
And
Emma Penchik. So Lowe to Penchik. And it's an Emma Penchik kind of night for Manchester Valley. And now we're getting close to running clock territory. Here's the replay. Lowe had a chance, but had the double defender. Penchik will take that high shot. And the Mavericks.
By number 9, Carolyn Lowe.
One more look at that free position. Lowe gave it up. We'll give her the assist and a nice pass and a nice shot from the two-time reigning CMSportsNet Player of the Year, Emma Penchik. There she is, having herself quite a night here. Just a few minutes into the third quarter, and we are getting close to running clock territory here in this one.
Yeah, I don't think we saw that one coming.
Not the running clock.
And Man Valley with the ball again off the draw.
Even up at 7 apiece in the draws. Oh, ball down.
All right, Century with the steal. Good defense and steal.
It was Sophia Parker there on down. She goes right in front of the Century bench. Let's see, we're going to call no card, but just a foul. What do they call that? A common foul, I guess, like in basketball.
Something like that.
And Sophia Parker will take it, and she will get into the at least past midfield. I'm going to backtrack. Just everything is being more difficult for Century today, just based on this Man Valley defense. You don't see too many times. I mean, we've watched. You and I have watched a lot of Century lacrosse.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, this isn't a stat we track, of course, but I can't remember that many times to see Century just continually swirling back to try to find help. They usually have open channels into the offensive zone, and it's just not the case today.
No, it's not. Man Valley's defense is really, really frustrating them.
So we came into the game allowing 4 goals per game, and they're well under that right now. halfway through this third quarter, they've given up 1.
Century still running its offense, trying to find the open player.
And I think you have to, right? I mean, yes, it's right now very lopsided, but Coach Groves knows how to get the program going, and obviously knows that this game, while you don't want to lose any game, this isn't the end of the season.
Right.
You have more games to try to go do. And this team is a little still trying to find an identity. We talk about that all the time, whether it's on our podcast or just at games to each other. What's this team's identity right now?
Right. Yeah. No. They're working towards it.
That being said, I wouldn't want to be in Century's huddles during any of these timeouts when Coach Groves is not pleased. And look, expectations at Century, as at Man Valley, are super, super high.
Correct. Yeah, both teams are high expectations all the time, and Man Valley with another takeaway.
And it's plays like that. Century did everything right, made the pass, and just couldn't quite get the corral the ball. And that the team like Man Valley will make you pay big time. And you have the Mavericks streaking in. You got open players here, but they will make the extra pass. Here's Emily Scott. She'll back it up. So let's see. We got Peyton Yunkins and Sophie Bear and Maya Trump. I'm just naming some of the defenders out there for Manchester Valley that have locked down this Century defense. Molly Pulliam, of course, in goal. Century offense. I think I said defense, but the defense has locked down Century's offense. Made it tough for the Knights today. There's a shot from the far side, and that goes in. Give that one to Carolyn Lowe.
And that does get us into the running clock.
So number 9, Carolyn Lowe with the goal. Give Cassidy Lewis another assist. Or actually give her her first assist, rather. Either way.
Goal, number 9, Carolyn Lowe.
And the clock runs with the 10-goal deficit, so until Century can put a goal on the board, that clock will run, although they're barring a timeout or an injury and things like that. That draw goes high in the air, and it's won by Century.
Knights take it.
Opatoski being guarded by Lindsay McCrory, I believe, number 16, a senior, another defender, so I didn't mention her a minute ago. So veteran team, and everyone knew at the start of the season that what was the word on the Lacrosse Street? Well, Man Valley has 17 players back from last year's team. They got to a state semifinal. That is bulletin board notice. If you don't need any talking, you just need to know that who they had coming back.
Yeah.
And they were the team to beat. They are the team to beat, and they're showing it right now, up by 10 goals against a really talented Century team.
They are certainly frustrating the Knights offense all day long.
Almost from the very beginning of the first draw. I mean, Century won, 6 of the first 9 draws, and they had 1 goal. So Fling trying to look for something.
She's got Baglin.
Yeah, she had Baglin momentarily, but
again, the defense just collapsed so quickly.
The lane got shut off. Ooh, Fling tried a underhanded shot, sort of a bouncer. Didn't quite get to the goal mouth, but the Knights retain it as we're down to 1:45 to go in the third quarter. Obatovsky. And shot was wide, backed up though by Century. Knights keep it backed up. 1:10 to go. Century still has the ball. Becca Harvey here. Trying to get around Sophie Bear. .50 seconds to go. Tough pass. Well, Fling, though, give her credit. Fling hustled and kept,
yes, she did.
Kept the ball alive.
Great job. You can see there's no quit in Century, which
Yeah.
you really got to appreciate.
Yeah, you see the frustration, but you're right. There's no quit.
There's frustration. They're struggling on offense. Man Valley's having its way on its offense, but Century is hustling nonstop. They're not giving up on anything, and you really got to appreciate that.
It's a Becky Groves coach team for sure. But just, there's a big example right there. Becca Harvey does a great job, gets a chance to get a shot, and the Mavericks come out with the ball, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. That's the summary of the game right there.
It really
Microcosm of the whole game. Century did a lot of good things on that possession, and they just cannot find an open lane to score. Allison Fling has Century's lone goal, and that came all the way back in the first quarter. It has been all Manchester Valley since then. There you go, 1 quarter to go. The Mavericks have an 11, the Mavericks have an 11-1 lead over the Knights. It's easy for me to say on the CMSportsNet game of the week. Team stats, it sort of goes with what we've been seeing for the first 3 quarters of play here. 11 goals for Man Valley, 5 assists, and even 3 saves for Molly Pulliam. We'll see if Josie Collender gets in the fourth quarter here or not. They stick with Pulliam.
But I think when you look at that stat, the fact that the draws are nearly even,
Yeah.
in fact, Century's up, that is just clear of the difference in defense that the Mavericks have right now. That, they're losing the draw battle, and they've only surrendered a single goal.
Correct. Player matchup. Emma Penchik leads this one here with her 6 goals and 7 points. Allison Fling has Century's lone goal. But with 12 minutes to go, it's an uphill battle for sure for the Knights. You see their huddle. Again, I'm kind of glad I'm up here, not down there, but I'm sure
it
it's
does not look real
words of encouragement.
Comfortable down there.
Yeah. That one a little bit different. You see Coach Brzezicki maybe telling him, hey, we got the lead, let's take it easy, or she's making those gestures and still saying we're going to keep our foot on the gas and we're going to try to pump a couple more goals in here before that. I mean, they had that game won against Liberty, and they kept to their game plan, right? They kept some of the starters stayed in, they won their offense. It's what Coach Brzezicki wanted to see, and the Mavericks are looking to be a tough out in about a month's time in the Class 2A playoff. These two teams could very well see each other again.
Absolutely.
In the regional playoffs.
There's a very good chance they will.
So fourth quarter will begin with Fling and Cassidy Lewis. And we are underway, fourth quarter. And looks like Century will win the draw on the foul call. And again, with the 10-goal deficit, the clock will run regardless, unless Century scores a goal.
Other than injuries and timeouts.
You got it.
Inside a minute on a
foul inside the
12
meter. Yeah. So if you're Century and you talked it over here with a quarter to go, likely what do you think they talked about going into the final 12 minutes?
Well, I think it's now you're kind of playing. Obviously, you want to try and get back in the game, but really a lot of playing for pride. Make sure they're making the crisp passes, doing running the offense. Again, another great save.
That was a crisp pass.
I mean, it was
a save.
It was a good pass.
Yep.
The cut was done well. Sometimes you just have to credit the goalie,
Yes, you
credit
do.
the defense.
Absolutely.
And that's what's happening right now. Man Valley is really clamping down there.
Flexing their muscle on offense and defense today here in Eldersburg, and didn't quite expect a 10-goal deficit. Expected maybe if Man Valley were to get its offense going, it could be a tough day for Century.
Yeah.
But not sure I expected to see Century down by 10 on its home field.
No, I didn't. No, I did not expect that either.
Becca Harvey is just There's just really nowhere to go inside that 8-meter fan.
There really isn't. They are just collapsing down immediately. And Century's had a couple 8-meter shots.
Couple.
But not a lot. So they're playing, very tight defense, but also very smart defense because they're not making the errors that lead to those 8-meter shots, giving up shooting space.
Yeah, Fling's goal came from that inside the arc from a pass and assist from Bella Garcia Watson, and there's a nice one.
Yep.
But again, not a good shot. And credit Man Valley's defense there. That was a good pass. And ball out, and a foul called on.
Now I think they're going to get an 8-meter
Valley.
shot.
Yep, so they might get a chance here from free position. Sarah Hroblack with Molly Pulliam in goal for the Mavericks. I don't think that was a save, but I think that was definitely an altered shot. Either way, good defense from Man Valley.
Yeah.
3 minutes or almost 3 minutes in to the final quarter here, as Man Valley looks to go 6-0 and 4-0 in county play. Century would drop to 5-2 and 3-1, and everyone else has 2 losses or more. So it's definitely a 2-team race, and it's quickly becoming a 1-team race.
Yes.
Man Valley's to lose with just 2 county games to go after this one for the Mavericks. One more win would give them the county title. Ball down, and there it is. Sarah Roblack on the
scoop and
loose
score.
ball. Scoop and score is right. Michael got it, and that will stop the clock with 11:43 to go.
8:43.
That's got to feel good for Century just to get back on the board. Yeah, 8:43 remaining, and Opatovsky got the ball taken out, but you see it kind of bounced right to Roblack. She did a good job to create some space, and she got the ball past Molly Pulliam. And so we're back to the draw circle now. Fling and Lewis. It's a 9-goal lead now for Man Valley. Ball up.
And
still fighting for it. And the Mavericks
comes away with it.
Ooh, good catch by Addison Meyer. She charges her way into the offensive zone.
Play around the horn a little bit.
Why not?
Everybody catch their breath.
Which is usually a thing Man Valley has to do because they run really fast. And then Penchik can scan this field here and see what Century's defense looks like before she runs this play. There's Meyer. Back to Penchik. Right to the top. Cutting is Bittinger, and Haley Bittinger, number 2, finds the net. Gives Penchik the assist there. Bittinger's on the board.
Yeah, really good pass and another good shot.
And we're back to running clock. That's what Man Valley can beat you with, right? You give the ball to Penchik. She's going to draw a defender or 2 or 3. Then Bittinger cuts in, loses her defender, waits long enough, and she finds the net.
Yeah, she absolutely did. It was a really, again, just a great pass from Penchik, but an equally good finish from Bittinger.
Man Valley state champs in 14, 15, 16, and most recently 2023. And that was a 19-0 season. Michael, you were there.
Yeah.
We were there at Stevenson that night. A really fun game to watch. Middletown gave Man Valley definitely all it could handle for the first half and a bit of the second half. And then things turned. Man Valley got its offense going again, and they pulled away and won the game and capped that unbeaten season. And look, state titles are great, but when you can do it without a loss, makes it that much more special. So Coach Jelly Brzezicki. It had been a long time coming on the state titles, and this group, many players on this group were on that team just 2 seasons ago. So that was a fun way to finish that 2023 spring season. And who knows where we'll be or who we'll be watching at the end of the 2025 season.
And a little bit of an errant pass by Man Valley. Century comes away with it. But notice how quickly Man Valley gets back on defense. That, to me, has been the most impressive thing today. I knew I was very clear on the high-powered offense, but the just shut-down defense has really been impressive.
Yeah, Liberty, when we saw Man Valley last, they were home against Liberty, and the Lions had some moments where they got a rhythm going on offense, and Man Valley wasn't quite as crisp with their passing, but once Man Valley's defense sort of clamped down, like you used that phrase earlier, it was really almost as enjoyable as watching a really good offense play, just because who they're going to match up on, who they're going to double on, who they're going to slide over and guard, and it's face guard or what have you. It's quite exciting when it's working like the way it is, the way it has been for Man Valley this year. Fling almost had a chance, but she had to pass off from behind. This is Opatovsky with a
pen check
on her. Yep. Now back out to Becca Harvey.
Nice.
Oh, they're going to call illegal
screen.
Just like in basketball, I think you got to be set.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I actually thought Hannah was.
You were about to say a nice job.
I thought she was set.
Officials said otherwise.
He's closer, so I guess I'll have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Plus, he understands the game better than I.
2 points for him, zero for you. I'll give you 1 point for
I appreciate that
commentating. And again, thank you for joining us here on short notice.
Oh, it's exciting. Get to stay in the warm booth.
That is true. That is true.
A good game.
That is true. And we got plans in the making right now next week to give you a baseball game of the week. So stay tuned for more info on that. But I think Michael will be alongside me for that as well.
Who doesn't love baseball?
I mean, I do, as long as it's warm and not wet. Oh, nice pass in the middle. And it's Haley Bittinger. I think Feek gave her that pass. It was Taylor Feek. So give Feek another assist and give Bittinger another goal.
We're just about 4 minutes remaining, and we've got a 13-2 Man Val lead.
Feek got around Baglin and got doubled, and it was easy picking for Bittinger, who, just like she did with Penchik a minute ago, slid to the middle of the fan of the arc. And
yeah, there are just so many offensive weapons that Manchester Valley has. And, you know, obviously you want to try and do your best to key everything off Emma Penchik. But
good luck.
Even if you shut down or slow her down.
Yep.
I know that you can never shut her down. Even when you slow her down, there's so many other weapons that the Mavericks have.
So another draw here. It goes right to the Penchik stick. I think we're even again in the draws. We are, by my count anyway, 9-9. And now the Mavericks, if they want to, can pretty much evaporate this clock with 3 minutes to go in regulation before they can enjoy another county victory and move to 6-0 on the season. And from start to finish, Michael, it has been a dominant Man Valley performance here this afternoon and this evening.
And it's like Man Valley's going to maintain possession.
And I'll say, I don't think it would matter the opponent. If Man Valley plays like this the rest of the season in these games, they're not going to find too many teams that are going to be able to beat them.
No, I think what eventually essentially doomed them last year in that state semifinal was not winning the draw, and Glenelg just took all the air out of the ball by holding it the entire time.
6-4 was the score in that game, if I remember.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Addison Meyer
I think what Man Valley need, obviously, you know, we talk about just how important draw control is, and obviously, if you have the ball, you can do those things. Man Valley doesn't play that kind of offense. Their offense is much more of, you know what, we've got it, we're going to the goal. We want to keep scoring.
It's been working.
Yeah.
13-2 in the final 145. Nice pass, and it's Addison Meyer this time. Give Emma Penchik the assist. She's got a 9-point game cooking here, and Meyer's on the board for the first time That's 6 goals, 3 assists for Evan Penchik. That's the first goal for Addison Meyer, and it's 14-2.
Yeah, just a dominant performance on both sides of the ball, and also outstanding play and goal, too.
See Meyer come over, a stick tap and a hug. And we got 1:05 left here. This could be the final draw of this one. And one more time, it's Fling and Lewis. And some contact, no call. And the draw won by the Mavs. .35 seconds to go. Meyer working off that screen. Feek.
But again, you can see that they're not just hanging back and passing.
No, they're playing
They're
lacrosse.
running their offense.
And shooting space. And that won't stop the clock, I don't think.
It did.
It did, okay.
Delayed reaction.
Yeah.
And Evan Penchik looking for another goal.
And she gets it.
And that, I believe, will end our game.
Penchik is pure from the 8-meter, and the clock is going to run out. And an emphatic Manchester Valley victory.
Yeah, definitely a statement game for the Mavericks.
There is no doubt about it. You don't spin that any way you want. That is a statement win for the Mavericks. Teams will come to their respective sides and shake hands, but we've seen some dominant performances in our time watching sports here in Carroll County, and that's right up there.
Yeah,
based on the teams, the talent on the field, the matchup, the stakes here, that was very impressive.
Yeah, it was just a great performance on offense and defense for the Mavs. Just really a dominant performance.
And really, again, despite the first 9 draws, and like I mentioned it already, Century won 6 of them. That was about all Century had going momentum-wise for their day their day. It just couldn't get offense going, and you see the handshakes there between the 2 rivals. And they couldn't see each other again. Very well see each other again.
No, I think there's a real good chance they'll see each other again in the regional playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt. They very well could see each other again. Century's planning on it. Man Valley would rather not. And Man Valley retreats back to their side, and some of the county rivals shaking hands here. A little extra talk after the game, and the final score, all Manchester Valley. Mavericks 15, Century Knights 2 on our CMSportsNet Game of the Week. A little more lopsided than you and I, or at least I thought, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. I coming in did not expect a 15-2 win for. I didn't expect 15-2 score either way.
No way.
But definitely, definitely a bit of a surprise. But just a strong game from Manchester Valley.
And we'll talk about this as we watch the second half highlights and look at the final numbers and stuff. But I think you're right. You nailed it. I think I'm more impressed with how strong and suffocating Man Valley's defense was.
Yeah, and obviously when you have all those offensive weapons, the defense gets overlooked. It's easy to overlook, okay, well, sure, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do as much because you always have the ball.
Right.
But Century had a lot of possessions.
Absolutely.
It wasn't that just Man Valley won every single draw and went down and scored. Century had a good number of possessions, and Man Valley was able to take the ball away, make saves, just collapse down and exercise, exert their will on Century, and clearly was the better team tonight.
And you mentioned this a few times in the broadcast, and I mean, when we kind of know what you're going to see from Man Valley's offense. A little bit of balance, firepower for sure. But when you can combine that with the defense that we saw tonight, I don't care who you are, that you're a very formidable team trying to go up against somebody like that.
Yeah, they're definitely setting themselves up for a long postseason run if they can continue to play offense and defense like that. they're going to be a real hard out for anybody.
And how about Emma Penchik? I mean, she's put up some numbers so far. With I think going into the game, she had 18 goals and 11 assists, and to put up a 9-pointer, well, actually a 10-point, 7-goal game. As she continues to make her climb, potentially still has a chance. Of course, stay healthy and play all these games, make a long run to be the all-time leader in Carroll County goals history. They still got a long way to go there, but she's already Man Valley's all-time. Or excuse me, she's number 2 in Man Valley history. Lizzie Colson is ahead of her. But I think I said she was all-time. She's number 2. But still, won't call it a coming-out party because it's Emma Penchik and we know what she can do. But she shined today when the lights were on.
No, absolutely. She really did. She was the best player on the field. It showed.
There was no contest.
She did a lot on offense and defense.
Sarah Roblak got a second goal for Century, but the game was long decided by then, and Emma Penchik was able to give a couple assists here late. There's one there, and Haley Bittinger got on the board. She got one to Addison Meyer a few moments later and scored a goal there right at the end. And Feek dished it to Bittinger there too. So the box score rather will show you that a lot of players got involved. But we called a lot of names and probably didn't call as many defensive names as we should have. But that defensive effort tonight, I think it's one of the best I've seen in a long, long time.
No, I have to agree with you on that, Pat. Just really strong defense.
15 goals, 8 assists, pretty impressive. And the 4 saves, again, those are unofficial, but I think she may have had 4 or 5 saves. Molly Pulliam did. And draws pretty even. In fact, until the last couple draws, Century was winning 9-7 in the draw category. So plenty to work on if you're Century, and obviously Man Valley too. There's our player matchup there, and a little lopsided there with Emma Penchik with the 7 goals and 3 assists. Allison Flynn, we're glad she's okay. She came back after taking a bit of a tumble there near midfield back in the second quarter, I think, but she got back in the game. And then we saw Taylor Feek from Man Valley go down momentarily, but she got back in the game. So luckily everybody got away pretty much unscathed. And again, very, very impressive from start to finish for Manchester Valley.
Yeah, it was. Just I can't give enough accolades.
Running out of
for it.
superlatives, huh?
Yeah, it's just great game. Really happy to be here. So again, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Happy to spend part of your birthday with you today here at Game.
I'm catching up to you.
There you go.
I got a couple years to catch up to you still. Yeah.
But really exciting. Happy to be able to see a great game.
Michael Duffy, thank you for sitting in with us, and always happy to have you next to me talking about and watching Carroll County High School sports. Time for us to step aside one more time. We'll say goodbye to Mr. Duffy, and we'll bring in our CMSportsNet player of the game. So don't go away. More post-game coverage for you from the Game of the Week. Every Wednesday at CM Sportsnet, it's Game On. Tune in for a look at Carroll County sports scene. Join me as we preview upcoming games, talk with the coaches, and bring you exclusive reports you won't see anywhere else. Plus, each week we'll unveil CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Don't miss CM Sportsnet's Game On, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. We've got you covered. Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments.
CM Sportsnet Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Barnes Bollinger Insurance and by Jersey Mike Subs of Eldersburg and Mount Airy.
First, I want to thank you all for volunteering to help Habitat for Humanity of Carroll County build a house. Your participation means so much. We couldn't do this without you. So, any questions? Come on, don't be shy. No such thing as a silly question, guys.
Donate and purchase from the Habitat Restore to help build houses.
No, you don't need to be able to hold a hammer.
CM SportsNet Player of the Game is brought to you by Genova's To Go.
Welcome back to the Game of the Week, and I'm joined now by CM SportsNet Player of the Game, Emma Penchik. Emma, congrats on the great win. Always fun to get a win in the county, but we wanted to ask you, Michael was with me on the broadcast, just from start to finish, you guys were on your A game. Did you feel that before the game started? Every game you want to play your A game, but this one against a really good Century team, what would that feel like out there today?
Yeah, I think we definitely went going into practices before the game. We were focused on starting off strong and keeping the momentum up, and feeling that during warm-ups we had a great warm-up and our energy was up, so we were able to transfer that over to the game and not let up.
They won 6 of the first 9 draws. They just really couldn't get any offense going, and I wanted to talk to you about your defense and how awesome they were today. Your offense was great, but that defense is so tough. You were giving up 4 goals a game before this game started. You only gave up 2 today. What's it like playing in front of that defense?
Oh my gosh, I mean, it's something so nice to have. Yeah, we might not be winning the draws, but we know we have a lot of confidence in our defensive end, and we don't play 7 1v1s, we play 1 7v7, so we're able to trust each other and fall back on each other and just lift each other up and use that momentum on the defensive end to then convert on the offensive.
Yeah, and you did find your way on the draw, but just early in the game, they were really winning them at a good clip. You've got Molly and Josie in goal, and then you've got Maya and Sophie and Lindsay McCrory, and I can go on and on about defense. You guys play defense in there too. How much we know what you get, guys. We know what you guys can do offensively and the firepower you have. How much do you put in extra work in defense? I've been to a few of your practices. There's always something defensive going on.
Oh yeah, I mean we put a big emphasis on our defensive footwork and pinching and working all together as one. And yeah, offensively we're strong, but we really want to focus on our defensive side and really put a lot of faith and have trust in our goalies and know that something may happen, but we're going to be able to come back and use it as momentum.
Yeah, no doubt. A big win always come on the road and get a county win, especially against a really good Century team. You very well might see them again in the playoffs, so obviously you get the advantage there. But again, a big game in 2 days. You can't rest that much. You got Savannah Park on Thursday. What you know the feeling of this. This is your 4th go around with this program. This is when the season starts to turn, right? The games start to mean a little bit more. Sure. What's the feeling like in practice, on the bus rides, as you guys are getting ready for this deep run? Yet again, one game at a time, of course, but can you feel the calendar start to turn and things start to ratchet up a little bit?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a short season, and we know our time is limited with each other, so we're taking advantage of every opportunity we get in practices and cherishing our moments on the bus rides, bonding as a team, and becoming a second family, and being able to use that energy and then be able to convert on the field and use each other there is huge for us. And we know that the next stretch that we're in currently right now is not easy, so we're going to focus and practice day by day and not to look too far ahead in the future, but focus on the next opponent we have in front of us.
Right. Emma, congrats on a great game.
Thank you so much.
Stay with me here as we say goodbye with thanks to Emma Pench for giving us a few minutes of her time, and thanks as always to all the ADs, Century tonight, Ashley Hoy for making our broadcast possible with her cooperation. That'll do it for the CM SportsNet Game of the Week. Be sure to catch all of our high school sports content online on Facebook and YouTube, and you can watch our games on cable channel HD 1072. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at CM SportsNet Action, and also you can watch us on, I already mentioned you can watch us on cable channel 1072. So follow us on Instagram, CM SportsNet Action. So that'll do it for Michael Duffy and Pat Stetzer, Emma Penchik. One more thanks to Ashley Hoyt. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you next time.
possible by Genova's To Go, Carroll Links, Carroll Indoor Sports Center, and Absolute Landscapes.
Hungry? Genova's To Go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's To Go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's To Go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's To Go. Genova's To Go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg for lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's To Go.
There's a lot about Sarah and Tara that's exactly alike. They drink the same coffee, they have the same great job, and they both have a high-quality education. The only difference? Sarah spent her first 2 years at Carroll Community College getting the same exceptional education, but at less than half the cost. So while Tara uses her paycheck to make student loan payments, Sarah can use hers for other things, like going out for coffee. Get started at carrollcc.edu.
Carroll Indoor Sports Center, celebrating its 30th season. 66,000 square feet of fields and courts. Rain or shine, multiple soccer and lacrosse leagues. Artificial turf fields and courts to rent. Party rooms and snack bar available. Summer camp for the kids. Safe indoor environment for athletes of all ages. Carroll Indoor Sports Center, your sport, anytime.
At Absolute Landscape, we believe that a great landscape is about transforming a space to exceed every expectation. From intricate hardscapes to lush green gardens, our goal is to bring vision to life. Creating outdoor environments for our clients, we offer services from design to installation and maintenance of your outdoor space. Enjoyment all year round is what Absolute Landscapes is all about.